What are like some of the celebrities that you met?
I've worked with all of them. I worked with
Oh,
Clint Eastwood, Tom Cruise, Channing Tatum, Zoe Kravitz. And trying to think of it's probably yeah. I've worked with so many actors and at television shows. I did Detroit 187. I did a whole bunch of TV shows. It's hard to always remember them all. You have to pull them up and go through them. But yeah, I've worked with tons of celebrities. Yes.
is there like any celebrity that you met and it was like on camera they're different, but in real life they're different? Like,
Um,
who-
you know, there are basically there's two types. There's the actors who are their on-screen presence is different than who they are in person. And then there's the actors and actresses that are the exact same. Like you see them on camera and then you meet them in person and you're like, they're not even acting. That's just it's who they are. So
yeah,
it's very interesting. It's very interesting because so what I call it what I call it is camera charisma,
yeah,
right? So it's what's called the X factor or the it factor, right? It's you see somebody on screen and you're mesmerized by them, right?
yeah,
And so it was always interesting to me. The ones that I found most interesting, actors or actresses, was on camera. You're like, wow, this person's amazing, and then in person, they're just real quiet, reserved, and you're like, how is this the same person?
yeah,
It's uh yeah, it was pretty amazing. Sometimes you're like, wow, that for whatever reason, they're who they are is very magnified with the camera. So,
yeah,
and then there's people who are just as magnetizing in person as they are on camera. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then,
I know what you
yeah, and so let me, like, for example, Michelle Rodriguez, right? Now she's most famous for the Fast and Furious franchise, right? But her career got started in a very, very small film called Girl Fight, which is an
mean.
awesome movie. And I recommend anybody to go watch it. It's called Girl Fight. And so Michelle Rodriguez, I've worked with her several times, and she is not only is the same person and looks the same on and off camera. It's amazing, you know. And so then there's other actresses and actors. You're like, on camera they have this big massive personality and they're electrifying, and then when they say cut and they walk off set, you're kind of like, how's that person this big mega star? Because they're like quiet, reserved.
Yeah,
If they walked by you wouldn't even notice them, you know. So yeah. And then but the one thing though is that a lot of people is that they like you hear stories, and some stories are true and some stories aren't. But what I tell people to understand is that you really can't judge a person on set um, by how they are on set, because let's say if you're a director, or if you're a lead actor, right, or an
yeah,
A-lister, a big star, you have a lot of pressure on you on set. There's we're all there for that actress or actress to do their thing, right? So there's a lot of money riding on their performances. And so I tell people is you got to understand, when they show up to set, they have a job to do as well, right? They don't get paid big money for nothing.
yeah,
So when they come on set, they're stressed. They got lines to remember. A lot of people don't understand that they might have even rewritten the dialogue the night before, or even just before they come on set, and now they have to relearn lines, or they have to something's completely different, right?
yeah,
Or maybe they're not getting along with their co-star, or they're not getting along with the director personally. So you don't know what's going on in their world. So if somebody's rude on set, or someone's like, I said hi to that actor and they didn't say hi back. Well, they're they're about to perform a death scene. Do you really think that they're going to be like, oh, yeah, okay. You know, some actors are. Some actors are like, oh, yeah, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, ready, action. Oh, no, don't, you know. And they can turn it off and on. And then, you know, some of the actors who are more famous, right? Like Michael Day Lewis, might be messing up his first name, or Tom Hardy, who's real popular right now, right?
Yeah.
These are actors who don't have an off switch. They're that character, right?
Yeah.
You know, Tom Hardy, you know, when, you know, he's that character. He shows up to set, he's in the zone, and he doesn't get out of the zone, right? And that's awesome for the performance, but it's horrible and very hard on the co-stars and the crew because they got to give him his space, right?
Yeah.
And then you got another actor who does the same intense stuff, but when they say cut, they're popping jokes and they're laughing, and, you know, and they just turn it off and on like that. It's amazing. So, yeah.